Gamers, back again with Purple Druid Presents. Today we are going to talk about this Snakes and Ladders campaign format that has captured my imagination and I can't stop thinking about it. So I spent the last couple days on my free time basically thinking about how to reverse engineer this and then create a system for, running a campaign that you didn't have to deal with trees and linearity and things like that. So this idea seems to have originated, according to what I've seen on the internet, with a format similar to this that comes from Peter Pig and their PBI game. I first saw it at the Grid-Based Wargaming blog, and the author there, Peter, he found out about it, I think, from Bob Cordery's blog, where he took a look at some different existing board games to see what they might have to offer the wargaming point of view as tools or mechanics. Bob Cordery did not use the Snakes and Ladders idea, but Peter did, and he ran with it and created this diagram here that you see in front of you. Various other gamers have taken this and run with it as well, and interestingly, they're using the same layout of Snakes and Ladders. They have changed some of the text in the boxes, but the positions of the arrows remain the same, which I thought was interesting. And it made me wonder, do the fortune or chance style events in those text boxes, did that get placed first, or did the red and blue arrows? So I asked Peter at Grid Based Games, and he said he put the arrows down first based on various Snakes and Ladders game boards he had seen. And then after the arrows were placed, he went ahead and put in appropriate text. So I decided that I was going to reverse that algorithm and come up with a series of event cards and then place event squares, and then depending on the event card you would either go up or go down. And then I also decided to add the victory arrows after the battles to be placed based on the events once the events have been placed. So basically what I did was I rolled 2d4 10 times, twice per line, and everywhere I put the number, I got the, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 5 here gets an E for an event, 7 gets an E for an event, and so on and so forth. So I placed all the events first. Second, I rolled 1d6 plus 3 2 times to get the strategic objectives, which are these blue highlighted boxes here. And I figured that if a army token landed on one of those spaces, they would get 1 victory point toward their final score, and they don't move up or down. They simply, it's just the luck of the roll to see if they can land on that space. The victory arrows for the lines with objectives, what I did was, this is battle 1. You start here, you make your way across, you do a battle, you make your way back across, you do another battle, so on and so forth, back and forth. So whoever wins the first battle, whoever gets here first and has to fight the battle, they will follow this green line and they will get this objective. At least according to this iteration. The more I think about that, I don't know if that's really a good idea. Go ahead and leave a comment down below. In any case, whoever wins the second battle will skip ahead to here. Who wins the third battle will skip ahead to here. Who wins the fourth battle will skip ahead and grab this objective, effectively giving them extra victory points and a head start in getting to the climactic battle and determining who wins the entire campaign. Let's see here. Next up, the events in the first line here, these can only be beneficial. So they have arrows already going up. And I happened to roll one for this very last square. And since there's nowhere for them to go up, they can only go down. So in the final version of this, I will probably put in each of these pre-selected events for whomever lands on those spaces. Let's see here. So each army in the campaign will get a token to put on the trail. So I have these little tokens here. And so we have a red army and a blue army. And each has 2 tokens, a disc and a cube. These were actually purchased for setting up my Imaginations campaign for the strategic map. I may still use them. I'm not sure yet. I have some other pieces I might use as well. So in any case, where are we at here? So each army in the campaign will get a token to put in the starting square. And then for each turn, each army will roll a d6 and move that number of spaces along the trail. Now, just because I happen to be a fan of more complicated style play, I also added a resource tracking or supply track at the top of the board here. This is very much a prototype. I have not play tested this. I do not know where that should start. Right now I've got it at 10. But basically, blue 1, this here. And so the tentative rule that I have set is that blue 1 will roll a d6, and that's a 1. So they'll go 1 space, and it takes 1 week, and they will lose 1 supply. Then red 1 will go, and they get a 6. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And they'll mark their supplies down. Each turn, I imagine, will be a week. And I also made a little turn sequence cheat sheet up here. What we'll do is we'll start with a courier move, then a supply move, then the army move, adjust the supply track, resolve any event cards, resolve any battles, again, update the supply track, and then I have a tentative idea for rolling for a domain event, but that is beyond the scope of this video at this time. So now, on turn 1, we have a 4 for blue 2. And of course, these are going to fly around. And for red 2, another 4. Ah, good. Now, 2 armies in the same space. What are we going to do about that? Well, one of the thoughts I had was that they would do a roll-off. So we would look at the army list for each of those armies and give them a number of dice for the number, based on the number of troops or the number of units, something along those lines, and have them roll off. A 5+ would be a success, and you just keep rolling the successes until somebody runs out. So let's say, for instance, Army A has 2 units. We'll use a D4 and a D10, or I'm sorry, D6 and a D10, and let's say that the red army has a little bit more forces, so they'll get a D8. I'm sorry, goodness gracious, a D8 and a D10. So the blue army, they'll need 5+. They get a 2 and a 2, so they do not get any successes. The red army gets a 10 and a 5, so they get 2 successes. So now the battle is over, or the maneuvering is over. The red unit has outmaneuvered the blue unit, and so the blue unit will be forced back 1 square. So that's my tentative rule for what happens if you land on the same square. You just do a little roll-off mini battle like that. Where else here? Again, how much time does each turn take? I'm estimating that a turn would be about a week on the trail, just to give it a little bit of a sense of time. And so now we'll go on to turn 2. And this leads me, at this point now, I'm thinking we need to have a turn tracker, so I'm going to write that down. And blue 1 gets a 4. And they will have an event. So we're automatically going to take the beneficial event. And I have event cards here. Can you see those? Yeah. All right, so we're going to draw an event card. The brown and the black. So the black has the blue arrows. Fast Courier brings new orders. Move up 2. So this army is actually going to move up 2 lines. And then we're going to discard this event card over here. And that is going to be another supply for blue 1. And now it'll be time for red 1. And they get a 3. 1, 2. They have to stop here. They're going to fight battle 1, which is a skirmish. And let's just do a roll-off for that. D6s. The white die will be for Army Red 1. It's cocked, of course. A 1 and a 2. So the red die, the red army loses. They will go directly here. And then it'll be time for blue 2. And they'll get a 2. And they have an event also. All right, so we have drawn the Courier Minigame. So what will happen is they will send off a courier, and then we'll start rolling on this regarding what the courier can go off and request additional troops, or can go off and request additional supplies. This really may not be a good thing to have as a event card, now that I think about it here. So, you know what? I'm going to go ahead. We're going to pull that. We're going to pull another one. All right. We're on the blue only. So, needed supplies arrive, +5 to the supply track. So, blue 2 is going to move up here to the 13. Because when they moved, they went down to 8. Now they're up to 13. So, they have extra supplies. And now it is time for Red Army number 2. And they roll a 1. So they're going to go here. And once again, we'll have the roll-off. We'll have a D10 and a D8 versus a D10 and a D6. So the Red Army, 2 successes. The Blue Army, no successes. The Blue Army is once again forced back. The Red Army will move their supply track, and we'll draw an event. Outmaneuver the enemy once again. And we can do the scouting minigame at this point to get full details, but we're just going to go ahead and move them up here for right now. So that gives us a feel for how this will work. The Courier minigame, I think, should probably be the focus of another video. We're already at about 14 minutes here. So I do have a small, very, very draft version of a Courier minigame for calling out couriers. Also a supply train rules. So I think I'll add those on after I get some more thought put into those rules, because it just seems like you know, this, I haven't play tested this. This has got 0 play testing whatsoever. Okay, so here we have the end of turn 3. I've already done all the rolls and moving, and you can see where all the armies have landed. Red, actually what I did is Army Red 1, I forgot to move their supply track, so now they're down to 4 supplies, so that's going to be dangerously low. And they're only in their second track there. So Red 1, at the beginning of their turn, will send a courier for supplies. On a D10 I rolled a 7, which means move 10 spaces. So the courier left from Battle 1 skirmish and made their way back to the headquarters. And the supplies will start from here on turn 4. And then Red 1 for turn 3 will move 2, and their supply goes down to 4. Blue 1 moves 6. However, they didn't have 6 to move, so they'll stop at battle 3. So there's blue 1. Red 2 also rolled a 6, and again, they can't move past battle 2, so they're at battle 2. And then blue 2 rolled a 4, so they're going to move and stop here at battle 1, and they're going to be doing the skirmish. There are no events to resolve. I marked down the supply track, but there are 3 battles to resolve, and then we'll have to modify the supply track once again, depending on whether they win or lose the battle. If they win, it costs 2 supplies. If they lose, it costs 3. And at this point, it occurs to me that I'll need to make some more courier and supply tokens. And I think I should generate 4 different skirmish scenarios and maybe 8 to 10 other scenarios for battles 2, 3, and 4, so they can be rolled randomly when someone lands on those spaces. I will also say I did not anticipate needing to run 3 battles at the end of this turn. So what I'll do is go ahead and fudge those battles again with the simple easy peasy roll off, and then I think I'll go ahead and finish the rest of the Snakes and Ladders part offline, off camera, and then maybe come back with another video and evaluate how it went. So that's where we are for right now. So I'm going to type this up. I did type up a lot of this information into a blog post. I will put the link down below in the description. You can pop over there. There are a lot of links to some of the resources that I use to put this together. I hope you found this interesting. If you have more questions, comments, please leave them down below or hit me up on Twitter at Wargame Culture. And I'd love to talk more about this with you, and definitely I feel like this has a lot of potential and can turn into something really cool. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you again soon.